Bakersfield. Home to over 250,000 people, Bakersfield's the 9th largest city in California. The Kern High School District resides here, comprised of 28 schools and educating 35,000 students. The Kern High School District is the largest high school district in California. This film follows 2 of those schools through 17 weeks, 3 competitions, and 1 finals performance.
So the doors open. So we walk into awards, and for finals, it's the only show where it's a full retreat awards, meaning that the whole drum line goes in and takes the award together.
And I walk inside the gym and it was packed.
We walk in and there's so many people.
I got that sudden sense of adrenaline. There was people everywhere. There was people sitting on the ground, people standing next to the stadium.
We enter the gym in single file, BC to our right and North to our left.
Here we go, it's the end, it's awards, find out how we did, and then it's over.
They came up to 3rd place. I'm just thinking, all right, the scores have already been close. I don't know what's going to happen.
We're just waiting there, and I'm just like crossing fingers, like my heart's just pounding, like, okay, what's going to happen, what's going to happen?
In 3rd place, receiving a bronze medal with a score of 88.65.
The second show was at Ridgeview, and it was kind of ironic because, Frontier and then Ridgeview, I remember thinking about that.
Ridgeview, it was the first night comp, and this was really new because, instead of waking up at the crack of dawn and rushing over here and getting as much rehearsal time as we can before we head over to the comp grounds and then just kind of warm up and then go in, this was a day where we get up late. Everything feels late and behind and backwards, and it just, for me, it messed with me right from the beginning.
That was the first night comp that I had ever done, because all my, comps have been in the afternoon. And it was weird being outside, at night, having to find light. You've never had to find light before, And one of our bass players, bottom bass, pulled something in his back that day.
Ridgeview. That morning was this is an example of stressful morning for me and trying not to
give that, off to the kids. I tried to be cool that whole day. We had a practice. We did have a 4-hour block that morning.
For music, we didn't have any more show the second competition, the Ridgeview competition, than we did the first competition. We still had only the opener, which was good enough. I mean, it was clean music, We had enough to show us what we got.
To understand how the universe affects us, how we coexist, how we thrive, perplexed by the seemingly inexplicable, the realization that you decide the route your life takes, and you are doing so on a moment-to-moment basis. Every cause has an effect, every action and reaction, every rule. What goes around comes around.
Definitely awkward. You go from waking up 7 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out what you need to fix, how you're going to fix it, and how much time you're going to have to fix it to get a presentable product by the time performance time is. Now I have all this time. What if I get done with what I need to do? What do I go on and fix next? What do I have the kids do? Do I give them a big break?
No, I'm ready.
You ready? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you worried?
No.
What do you think about when you're on the floor?
What do I think about?
Yeah.
Think about what I'm going to eat after I perform.
I do too. Are you nervous?
Why would I be nervous? I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years. I think I'm pretty used. Yes, I'm nervous. 4 years. Judging from how many times I dropped this morning, I'm pretty nervous.
So we had so much time in between, like when we got there and when we performed, that we were just like, hey, let's just go leave our drums out here, and we'll go in, get some food.
And we started setting up, and we put all the electronic equipment, because it was cloudy and cold, and put everything electronic under our big Easy Up tents, and had our stuff out, started setting up.
We set up drums to start tuning. Tenors actually face this wall where the gate is at, but they face the wall where this tree is at, and we start tuning the drums and everything. And then about that time, I guess Ridgeview walks up with their tenor line. Well, their tenor line walks up, and they stand kind of right there. At that specific moment, I did not catch. I just heard about it through somebody that was standing next to me. They're like, dude, this is a tenor line standoff. And I turn around, and you got little Jordan, a little attitude. And I was like, uh-oh.
We warmed up in the lot. I remember Ridgeview's quads were not too far from us. I remember looking at them. But we went off and we warmed up over here, and they were over here. Our bases were closer to the quads.
We saw Ridgeview tenor players right outside of our trailer, and they weren't dogging us, but we kind of had that tension,
This ain't good, and Ridgeview, they look like they're not, I don't know if they meant anything by it, but they started, playing.
I remember looking over and seeing Frontier practicing right there. I just thought, you know what? I just want to piss these guys off. I'm just going to set up behind them and play.
Oh, God, this is not good. And I'm watching my tenor line just staring them down. And so I walk over, hey.
Some of their instructors and their people just looking at us, just staring back and just laughing.
Come on. We're over here.
So I remember passing their tenor players, me not even being a tenor player, them looking at us and us looking at them. It was just kind of like,
It's raining!
Oh my God!
Yeah, get out.
Stop number 2.
At Ridgeview.
And it's raining.
We're taking cover in the trailer. Okay,
Nothing else can go wrong. please, nothing go wrong. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's small or big. Nothing cannot go wrong anymore. Nothing. And then the worst thing that could possibly happen right when we plug everything up and we got power running in the pit, and then it just decides it wants to rain.
Got through a couple of warm-ups, and it starts pouring.
So we rushed to get covers on all the equipment, pushed it all back onto the trailer, everything that can get damaged. All the electronics was underneath and
We
easy
made sure
up.
everything was covered, and the rain was coming off of the easy ups, and the wind was blowing it into the electronic equipment anyways, so everything was still getting wet. So all of us took our band jackets and stuff and covered
Then
everything.
There goes the scramble. Pulling out cords, wrapping them up, covering up instruments, covering up all the electronics, and then we had to push everything onto the trailer.
There was no one there. It was just quiet. It was really dark and it was raining, and there was like lights underneath of us, and it was just us.
So we all cramped, and we made a triangle under this eave.
We got some overhead. It started pouring at that moment, just literally pouring. Really, really rough moment. Everybody was wet. Everybody was complaining that their fingers are cold. They can't feel their hands. We're like, okay, we'll warm up and try to get your fingers, try to get you loosened up and everything.
And I remember walking, and I love walking as a line from our warm-up to the entry.
We start walking, we start packing up, and we start walking towards the door.
And going onto the floor, we were all scared again that we would blow it.
Surprisingly, we pushed into the gym. We set up, had my fingers crossed for no fires or anything starting from, everything being rained on, and everything started up perfectly, There was without a hitch, everything plugged in, everything was fine. Sound checks were in 5 seconds, and then I was actually really surprised that there was no problem. I was actually expecting a problem.
Competition.
Our life's work has always been to understand our individual relationships with the cosmos, to understand how we coexist, how we thrive, perplexed by the seemingly inexplicable, the realization that you decide to use your life takes, and you offer yourself on a multitude basis. Every cause is an effect.
I almost threw him out while I was playing because my hands were still kind of wet and damp playing this big old run, and halfway through the run I feel it start to slip. For me, that was scary. Kind of looked over at everybody else across the line and saw that they were having the same issues, wet hands, wet mallets, wet instruments, and everybody was freaked out. We're probably not going to win first place this show. Maybe we'll win second, but it's not a good show.
It was a long day. All the shows that day weren't that great because everybody was tired. It was a long day. We're not used to playing at night.
They went out there and they did an okay performance. Just the vibe for that whole day just wasn't there for anybody.
So all the scores hadn't gone up that much from the last show.
Honestly, I was expecting after the performance, third or fourth. And hey, we got all these shows that, are going up against us. What are we going to do? Well, just so happens we got second. I was like, okay. All right. I was like, that's actually pretty good. So that actually gave me a little bit more confidence in the show that I was writing. I was like, my opener could beat, somebody's whole show. This show could actually do good. So that gave me, new confidence. And immediately after that comp, me and Jeff were trying to collaborate what we were going to do third song wise, because we knew that the third song had to be amazing to pull this off.
So at the end of March season, I actually started even sooner than I did the year before with picking a show because I was like, okay, I want to even be more ahead of what I did last year.
We're stopping, and this is not your dot. You're right on the white line. Check your half-offs. Check your half-offs. Everybody who's half-off.
So then I check out one of the major shows. It's called Relative. And I was like, okay, this is the music by itself without the concept or anything. The music itself, the way it sounds way more interesting than any of the other pieces of music. Because like you can be a part of a school and you know the kids, and basically what I try to do is I try to make a show put together like to where it's them. It's not like a show that these kids are doing. It's like those are those kids. Like that show fits them. Like, you know, it's kind of like part of their personality. They can probably latch on the show and like it more.
How does it feel to be the drum set player?
It's pretty cool, you know. I've been playing drum set for a long time. And, yeah, I like it.
Do you like this year's show?
I love it. How do you like our show? It's awesome. I love it. I don't think they could have picked a better show for this year.
For the BHS show, we had gotten some warnings from Manny about how it was going to be, because there were going to be some major differences. For one, the gym was 2 stories, so we would have to walk up a ramp to go in the gym.
So the next competition was at BHS. That whole day was long. I think even though it was early in the day as opposed to the Ridgeview night competition, I think the heat and they had an early start. They got really exhausted. We rehearsed at Ridgeview before going out to BHS to practice on the lot there.
Across the way there was Frontier and Liberty and all these other schools, and everyone was in front of them watching them, and it kind of intimidated us because we're like, oh, nobody wants to watch us, so we're over here in our little corner. But we're like, I guess we'll just have to show them when we get in the gym.
And I think they wished that people had been there. They like for the people to watch them, and they feel like, oh, nobody cares. Because all the other schools are on the other side. You know, people, the parents and the fans are all over there watching the other schools because they can walk to the schools easier. Ridgew's over here by themselves, which how it always seems to be. It seems like Ridgew's always sets up, which may be like on purpose to set up away, but I think they set up too far away, and then they don't get the hype from the crowd. Nobody's there watching them, so they all get dressed. They're still tired. They get into. They're on their way to the gym.
Snares were walking. We were leading everyone, walking over to the gym, and there was a huge ramp that led up to the entrance of the gym.
This is a very, very tall ramp, and it's skinny, so it has to be like one instrument right behind the other. And we didn't really have enough people on all their instruments because we had to have one in front and one in back so it wouldn't roll backwards.
Our drum set, which was on this big platform with wheels, the platform was too big to go up the stairs. And so we had to take the whole drum set off, take it apart piece by piece, fold up the platform, move the platform up, and then take all the pieces of the drum set up.
Now we have to take the whole drum set apart that we just set up from over here. And everyone from drumline just taking up each part one by one, just trying to get it up there as fast as we could.
We heard clapping in the gym, and Frontier came out, and steam was coming off their heads because they were so sweaty. Like, it was just dripping off their faces. They're like, oh my gosh, it was so hot in there.
Eventually, Frontier cleared out, and they got down one side of the ramp while we went up the other side.
As soon as we walked into the gym, we knew there was going to be issues because you could just feel a huge temperature change. It was really hot in there, like hotter than we expected. And it felt really humid in there too, like really stuffy.
There's no air, so it's really hot in there. a minute or less into the show, and I can already see the pit sweating. They're already tired. You can see it in their face. They're like looking like they're getting dehydrated.
Once the show started, we turned the count off, and then everything was just loud, just echoed. That was the first time we really had a big timing issue with the snare coming in over the pit.
At letter A in the opener, Lupita and Cody come in at the same time, and timing was way off, and the drumming and our sound system was echoing so bad. She stumbled, she lost where she was, and Kelsey tried to come in and it didn't work, and I was thinking, oh crap, this isn't gonna work.
I remember there being a tear in that show, but we had some injury issues in that show that really gave us some difficulties. Alex, one of our snare players, got a cramp in his calf in the middle of the opener and had to deal with it the whole show.
I don't know. That was not their best performance. Echoing inside the gym, they couldn't hear tempos. I remember tempos were kind of everywhere, at least towards the beginning, the first song. I think it kind of got a little bit better throughout the rest of the show, but I remember tempos were not together that show.
Last few moves of the opener, I just felt this horrible, tingling, burning, hot sensation in my knee, and I don't know, I might have been crying. I was sweating so bad it didn't even look like it. And I was just trying to finish the show, just screaming, just clenching my teeth, whatever I could do to just finish the show. And I remember limping as fast as I could to get out. I remember as soon as I got out of the gym, I just collapsed and fell on the floor.
As soon as we walked out of the gym and pulled the floor out, I didn't see Kyle for the next 30 minutes because I think they rushed him to the health place where he could get ice on his knee, and that was pretty scary at first, thinking he might be out for the season.
After the competition, before the awards were given out, everyone was talking about how bad their show was, and I thought I really laid it out there, and I played my best show, and I put a lot of heart into it.
Cody and Tommy went up to get the awards, and me and Nathan and a couple other people that came to watch us were we got second. There's no doubt about it. And when they announced that Frontier was second and Liberty was third, we were like, have they called us yet? Did we miss us? Did we get last and we don't even know? And they called us for first, and we're like, this isn't right. What is wrong with these people? That was such a bad show, and how could they possibly think that that's first place quality?
So after the BHS competition, Monday comes around, we find out that Tommy, our drum set player, got expelled from Ridgeview.
The week before our SCPA show, our drum set player got into a little trouble with the school and ended up getting suspended.
And so we're like, great, drum set player? It's not a marimba. You can't just cut out marimba, easy fix. Drum set has to be there. So we're like, great, who are we going to get to replace Tommy? He was doing a really good job. Who are we going to get to replace him? So Manny comes around. we're like, okay, Manny, he can do it. We give him the music. I'm sure he can learn the parts. So we get him watching our previous shows. Like, go watch Tommy, see what he's doing, and, try to get, learn whatever you can like that, as well as look at the music to try to get him caught up if we can, because we had our next show that week.
What is impressive? It's all relative.
He had 5 days to learn an entire show because we were done. I think we had all three songs already done. So he had to learn 3 whole songs before the next week, which was our out-of-town competition, which was the biggest one because that's when all the other schools from everywhere around California get to watch us.
We just lost our drum set player the week before our big show. And the drum set player's job is to hold the show together. He hears the battery parts and is playing a beat that the pit listens to, which holds it together because battery is time, and the pit listens to the drum set, which listens to the battery. So he's basically the center of the show when it comes to everything being in synchronization and being in time.
He's still struggling with timing, and we're not even worried about him learning the entire thing. We're just like, learn this small part, learn from this measure to this measure, because we need that. Don't worry about anything else. Just get these important moments in the show that we need, and that's it, at least for that week.
It was really hard not getting mad at him, per se, when he would, make a huge mistake, because we would know, oh, he just learned it, but still, some of this stuff, really difficult trying to cope with all of it. And then we find out at about Thursday, or maybe Wednesday, that we don't even know if we're going to go to the show.
Tuesday, Wednesday, I think Wednesday we're like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this show. At least I was really not wanting us to go down south.
You want to just call it right now and just cancel it, or do you want to give them one more day, do an ensemble,
we don't have to
decide,
we don't
okay,
have to
this
cancel
sucks.
it until Friday morning, technically, right?
Well, I don't want to wait till Friday. I want to know by Thursday.
These guys' parents need to know.
Parents.
Or Thursday night.
Because then I get, parents got to know.
So can we, I guess, call it, we'll do an ensemble in the morning and see what happens, because,
I'll go with that. I'll say let's make a decision right after class tomorrow.
Yeah.
They haven't brought the brace slips. If the driver's not square, then all these things are what's going to take us down.
Is there people in the battery that are missing? So for the rest of the week, on top of having our drum set player have our new drum set player relearn all this new music and try to get us ready, we also now have a hole in the drum line.
I remember sitting at lunch and my mom texted me. She goes, "Hey, your doctor says you have a partially torn ACL."
Kyle, because of his injury, was not marching at all at any rehearsals. He was at the rehearsals running the Met. He couldn't march, but he was still going to perform in the show. So he was basically not rehearsing with us, but still performing with us. And so a lot of us kind of felt strange about that kind of sketch. What if he forgets all his drill? What's going to happen? Is he going to get hurt worse by performing?
And the rest of that week, just sitting at practices, just watching everyone do everything, and me just sitting there helpless, not knowing what to do.
I guess they were okay with how practice went because the show was still scheduled to go on. And so that was cool. We were all excited, but at the same time really nervous because if Manny slips up one bit during the show, then the whole thing can fall apart because he's holding it together. And so that was really nerve-wracking. We were nervous for him mainly, not really with ourselves.
Where are we at, guys?
Alicia Niguel High School. Woo!
They're at the show. I'm just warming up with them because I'm still not decided. And right before everyone's leaving, I just wrap my knee up in as much tape as possible where it won't move. I just put my uniform on, just walk over the rest and get up and get in on the dressed up ensemble. Everyone just staring at me like, you're an idiot.
If you blow out your knee, this is on you, and we're stuck for the rest of the season with a hole in the show. He's like, it's not going to happen. He's like, I'm going to do the show. I'll be fine. I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
snares had a couple issues with sticks. We only had one stick bag for each snare, and nobody had spare sticks, and so we were scared someone was going to drop one. And so I got one spare and put it in my stick bag with my other 2 sticks, so that if any snare dropped a stick, I would be able to just hand it off to him sometime in the show. And that stick being in my bag ended up messing a whole bunch of stuff up in the show for me. Like at my solo entrance at the beginning, I pulled out the wrong 2 sticks, and I played with the spare and one of my regular sticks, and they were really unbalanced, and it sounded really bad.
Going through all the pain, screaming through everything, and just clenching my teeth, trying to get through the show. Just going through the whole show was just the hardest thing that I've ever done.
We ended up actually taking first in our bracket, not in the whole division, but in our bracket we took first. And we won some drum heads, and we were pretty excited about that. It was a pretty big surprise, but overall, it was a good day, fun show.
We got the music for the 3rd song, I believe, a week or a week and a half before the Centennial Comp.
You're going to have roughly till the lunch break, and then we're going to start ensembling it. All of you will have parts all the way up to the end, okay? So I'm going to get that printed up right now. Just please, oh my God, if there was ever a day to just stop talking and put your phones away, probably be today. Really important Saturday was okay. So go over there, let's start warm-ups, let's get this stuff done.
Getting that music a week before was hard. And so I think half of us didn't expect, because he said, we're playing the whole show at Centennial. And I think we thought, okay, we're not going to get all of this even remotely presentable for Centennial.
The whole week prior to Centennial, we're like cramming this music. We're getting as much done as we can. We're stressing more, but we're not showing the kids as much as we're stressing. Hopefully, a lot of them really can tell, but most of them, thank God, they were just oblivious.
After the couple of shows that had already happened, we were getting ready for Centennial. Things were going good. The show was finally finished. All the drill was done. Music was done. We'd already done run-throughs and stuff. Run-through after run-through after run-through. Trying to get it nice and comfortable. Okay, now is the time of the season where little things that maybe I overlooked, we can add visuals here. Maybe spice up this just a little bit. Maybe add a body work here and there. Just trying to, spice up the show a little bit, make it a little more interesting, not so just straightforward. go. So, like, everything was feeling really good. And then the day of the Centennial show comes. Obviously, I'm not there, though, because I couldn't be at any of the shows. All I got was word over the phone of the disaster.
Fourth show of the season was the Centennial High School show, and it was the second night show because the first one went so well.
So Centennial is another late comp, so I remember looking at the schedule a few days prior and kind of like seeing what time we go on. It was like 10:40 p.m. Are you kidding me? 10:40 p.m. So, I mean, at that point I was like, oh, this would be another one of those days.
Centennial was really nerve-wracking because that was our first, I was like, balls out, we got to do it, because we called his bluff and he wasn't bluffing. We're playing the whole show, like, doesn't matter what it looks like, because at that point you got placed for finals at Centennial. So if we came in, with the same amount of music, we wouldn't have gotten very good scores, which would have put us higher up. And I guess I would rather go in with a full show that wasn't so good rather than the same thing I've had all season.
The Centennial show was the second night show, and we rehearsed a lot at the school that day. We got here not early, but not as late as we did for the Ridgeview show. Got the Centennial a lot. It was dark. It felt like there was nowhere to practice. Like, we parked our trailer like all close to everybody else's. It was a lot like the BHS show, but it just felt like there was more trailers and cars.
So Centennial show, another night show, pretty excited for it. Probably, I would say, one of the best lots we've had all year long. We set up like in front of this embankment with the Met facing us, and we're about to warm up. And as we're warming up, some people from Liberty, I think it was, set up their drums like right in front of us, pretty much facing us, and just started like hacking and playing some random stuff, which we were just like, what the heck, like, why are they doing that? I thought of a way to fix that, which was get our Met, put it behind us so it's going past us towards them, and turn our Met up really loud so they can't hear what they're doing. And so that worked, and they left. It was actually pretty funny too. We made a little joke out of it.
Knowing we weren't well prepared was really saddening, because we had had all of us time, like crazy amounts of time, to start preparing for this, and yet again, like as years in the past, we got our third movement, our last movement, right before the competition.
We put everything together Friday night, the night before Centennial. We were putting drill to music, and that's something that Frontier is used to. Like, that's not shock. We're not like, oh, we don't know what to do. That's what we did with metal. That's what we did with Atlantis. That's what we did now. It was normal to us to have to cram music, drill together before comp the night before.
We get to Centennial. The problem after problem after problem, just some of the stupidest stuff, like kids are like, I can't find the trailer, I'm late, what's this, what's that? Just dumb questions bouncing off of me like bullets off of Superman. So I get
to the trailer. We start setting stuff up. It's already starting to get dark, And we get the generator running. We get everything set up. We start warming up, and we start running through the third song, the song that we're putting on there, all on the field or out on the floor for the first time today.
Alone. All that we send into the lives of others come back to our own.
Loud, hectic. Having just learned the end of the show, we had definitely had to do some work and a lot warming up, but I mean, it was too loud to do anything.
It's an illusion.
I guess Heather was doing something with her BC drumline, or I'm not sure exactly, but she wasn't there. So we had no instructors that day. But I told everyone, like, all right, downbeat's going to be like in 5 minutes, be ready. And we just we can pretty much run our own rehearsal.
Cody was like the instructor because Heather was with BC or Independence and Manny wasn't there. Parents were there and Martin's was there, but we were pretty much on our own.
There is a destiny that makes us brothers. None go his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others come back to our own.
Every time we would break, they would say, Dylan and all of them would come over and say how tremendously proud of us they were. Because we did a movement in one rehearsal.
I know you guys don't like being around me sometimes because I get mad really easy about really stupid stuff. All right?
Right.
Shut up. Trying to be serious. It's a very serious moment, all right? But honestly, I am really proud of you guys, okay? We just pulled together a third song that was so close to not happening 3 days ago, okay? We had so many snags. It's been there for a while. We just had to change it a lot, okay? But now it's right here, okay? And you guys just have to focus. That's the only thing that you guys have to do right now. If you guys focus, we can pull this off, all right? Conditions for us right now, couldn't be any better. We go out there, we pull off an amazing show. You guys pull off this third song. You guys are looking good.
It's getting closer and closer in time to, for us to pack up. We got like 45 minutes, and then Jeff calls me over and he looks at me. I was like, hey, he's like, so what do you think?
We actually sat back and talked for like a good 20 minutes. Like, do we go out there and play song 1 and song 2 and just let it be solid and let it be what it is? And or do we go out there and try to put a third song out there? It's probably not as ready as it should be, but I mean, we had 2 or 3 good runs of it. It was enough to make us feel that, I mean, if we can do that on the floor, we'll be okay.
I was like, I'm going to try not to worry. I said, I'm not going to worry, because if I worry, they're going to feel that and they're going to see that. I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. They'll do good. I know they'll do good. And he says, yeah, but the harsh reality, it's like, I know, it's right there. I understand. But we got to do what's, best for them. Hopefully, they'll pull out that best comp, that best show. After the second song is over, they get to the end and piano's playing, last note hits, and then there's supposed to be narration. He hits the button, he's hitting the key. There's no narration. What happened at that moment, I have no idea. I just knew that this was the worst possible thing that could happen at this moment.
We get down to the end of the third song, things start falling apart. The guitar player couldn't get the cue that he was supposed to come in. I don't know what happened there, and that whole part fell apart too. It steamrolled into worse than probably what it would have been if they weren't so nervous about it, and if we didn't hit so many hiccups in between. So, I mean, they got through it. It was fine, but
After that lot, we were excited and determined that this was going to be our best show yet, and that we were going to have a great show, and Snares weren't going to make the same mistake as last show by carrying that extra stick. And so we didn't carry the extra stick. We only had 2 each, and we were just like resolute about it, like, all right, well, nobody's going to drop sticks. Just don't even think about it. Like, it's not going to happen.
Floor impact competition.
comes in with the first opening statement, "What is impressive?" And I have a snare solo at the beginning. Nate comes in, and we play together, and we have a thumb roll. I drop my stick on the thumb roll. So I have to take out one of our brushes that we use in the ballad and play on a brush with one hand and a stick with the other hand. I'm trying to debate whether or not to keep playing like that or just try to air the parts or something, because it sounded horrible with a brush in one hand and a stick in the other hand. Damn. That's all I thought, was just like, man, but what a disappointment. Now I have to survive the rest of my show. Nathan, on one of the parts, he hit a shot on his drum. It was like an ending statement of a chunk. His stick bounced up and bounced out of his hands and fell on the ground.
What sounds happy?
So now we have 2 drop sticks, and during that halt where he dropped his stick, Alex hands Nate one of his sticks, and Alex pulls out a brush. So Alex pretty much sacrifices his whole show so that the other center snare besides me doesn't have a brush too, and so that at least one of the centers will have 2 sticks, so they have something to listen to. Oh my God, this is horrible. Like, how can this be happening after such a good lot? We were so disappointed. But again, I just tried to hype it, act like nothing was wrong, and still play my parts like I had 2 sticks. And that was going pretty well until toward the end of the show. I end up, during a drill move where we're turning around to face backfield, I end up stepping on Nate's drop stick, falling down face first onto the ground. I don't even remember what happened. I just hit the ground and popped back up and somehow made my dot still. And it was right before a huge drill set, which was pretty crazy. And like at the time, I just thought like, oh my God, I just fell during a show. Like that's never happened before. And so that was really surprising for me, but I'm proud of how fast I recovered. It was pretty cool.
The Ridgeview Indoor Percussion Ensemble is under the direction of...
I go to see Cody afterwards. I'm like, are you okay? And he was just laughing about it. He's like, dude, my stomach hurts so bad from my snare pushing into my stomach. I was like, ooh, that sucks. But yeah, he wasn't really worried about it, but we're like, we are definitely not getting first place this time. Like, there's no absolute way.
Into the National Open Percussion Division. In 5th place with a score of 82.25, Bakersfield High School.
We knew that we weren't going to go up, that we would be lucky if we got to stay at 2nd, but we highly, highly doubted that.
In 4th place with a score of 85.15, Frontier High School.
We knew that we had wrecked our show, that show was the worst show of the season.
In 3rd place with a score of 85.20, North High School. In 2nd place with a score of 88.60, Liberty High School.
And then we laid out 2nd place, Liberty, and I was like, wow, we won. And I didn't really feel good about it. I felt like we won because we were Ridgeview, not because we had a good show.
That was a rough comp. When you perform shows like that, I want to tell the crowd, like, this is not what Frontier is. This is not what Frontier's about. It's not, we're not, this isn't us, but we did it because we had to. I don't drop mallets, you know, like I've never dropped a mallet before in a show. I've dropped my body, but you know, I've never dropped a mallet. It could have been better than that. And you want to show that to the crowd, and it's hard to be excited and have energy when you hear what is around you and you have one mallet in your hand. And that was a very rough show.
The whole way there, I can tell everybody is about as nervous as I have ever seen them. Every single kid were just really nervous. They're smiling, but it was that kind of shallow smile to where you know that they're really, really panicky.
I had to, you know, put my game face on. I had to get excited for the show. So I got everyone as hyped up as I could. I screamed, I did whatever I could, and then the doors opened.
And Albert, I believe, he was the first one to walk in. There was an attempt to walk in for me. I walked toward the door, but then I quickly turned away. It's weird, you know, I really tell the kids, like, you guys, don't be nervous when you walk in there. Don't be nervous. Like, it'll be okay. Like, if you're not nervous, everything will be fine. You know, just shake it out, shake it out. And then I go get nervous. And I got so nervous, I couldn't even walk in. Like, I got, you know, a little giggly. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, here we go. It was packed.
You know, you heard like the buzz, you know, of talking that you hear before every show when you're unfolding the floor.
And getting through those doors, hearing all of those voices, you know, when we started walking in, people kind of got quiet a little bit, looking at us like, you know, they're coming in now. Are they going to do it this time? They had a really bad show last time. What's going to go on?
During the last moments of waiting for them to announce our name, we pulled the floor out. I can't remember if there was a jacked up way we pulled the floor out or not, but we pulled the floor out, and once again there was kids tearing up a little bit. It's kind of getting closer and closer to showtime, the last one, especially for the seniors. They finally announced our name. I think at that moment I went numb and deaf to any and all things.
Every year it changes, you know, every year you lose people. And, you know, yeah, you gain people, but it's just not the same. And this year after, you know, the division in the beginning of the year, it felt like everything was finally right again. It felt like we were finally right. We were finally a family again. And then I was going to go out there and give it, you know, throw it all away in 7 minutes. It was going to be done.
Our life's work has always been to understand our individual relationship to the cosmos, to understand how the universe affects us, how we coexist, how we thrive. Perplexed by the the realization that you decide to your life takes, and you are doing so on a basis. Every cause has an effect and reaction. What goes around comes around. is a destiny that makes us brothers. None go his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others come back to our own.
We hear a little bit of crowd just going crazy inside the gym because North High was in there performing, and a lot of the show's really loud. The show ends and bam, the crowd's going crazy. I'm like, guys, that crowd's ready to go. That crowd is hyping. They're loud and ready to go for you guys, so you guys got to give it up to them. And they're like, yeah.
As soon as we see the other school come out, Pitt's like, okay. I'm like, let's go, guys, get ready. So everybody goes to their own individual instrument, whatever they're pushing in. They're just waiting. I'm like, you guys ready? Excited? Because I'm always excited right before they go on. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, what's going to happen?
We walk in, and there's so many people.
So doors open up. We're ready to go. I'm the first one to go in with the floor and some kids in the drumline pushing the floor out. I go inside, look to the right. Crowd is completely packed, full, massive. I look to the left. Schools packed in the back stands even too.
Front and back bleachers are pretty much filled. Usually it's just the front. And that for me was really exciting. I was pretty happy. Like, I knew it was going to be pretty full, but I wasn't expecting it to be full, like no seats available full.
Everybody's there. Kyle's pushing through. John is still complaining, but he's still there. Nick hurt his foot on the fly trap earlier that morning. But he's still there, and he's still going, wanting to play a good show.
And then I try to go to everybody, I'm like, okay, perform, energy. Because sometimes they forget that. They forget, oh yeah, look up. And so I try to get them to want to just perform it and have the energy, connect with the audience. That's what it's all about, is just getting away from just them and then performing it. So I go to each one, I'm like, remember, perform, energy, look up, or something like that. I'm telling them to try to get them to remember to perform this.
And the battery runs outside to go get their drums, and I wait at the door for them to give them their last, good luck hug, because I don't hug these kids. I don't do that, but I'm just it's finals day, so as they're coming in, I give them one good last high five, give them a hug and say, I love you guys, good luck. Every single one of them, I told them, I love you guys, I love you, good luck, have a good awesome show. I never tell them that, just because it's the last day, I'm like, they need to hear it, I love you guys better go out there and rock it. All of them are ready to go, so hyped, some of them are kind of emotional. And then I go up into the crowd. I'm ready to watch this thing go down. I'm up in the top middle with a couple of friends.
I'm really just there to enjoy it. All the past times, okay, what's going on here? What can I fix? Oh, okay, this, whatever I find. And this one is just, okay, I'm going to watch finals competition and just enjoy it and be just one in the audience that gets to just enjoy the show is what I was, and I'm already getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Just seems so right, so ready to go. Like the crowd was gonna go crazy for this.
Richview, you may take the floor in finals competition.
What is impressive? What is impressive? It's all what sounds happy. It's all relative. How are you affected by where you were sitting? It's all relative. What sounds simple? It's all relative.
about 10 minutes ago. Now we're on our way back for awards. We had a pretty good show. We had a really good show, and we're hoping for the best. And see how it goes.
We're on camera?
No. Obviously not a camera. We just performed. The best show ever.
I'm gonna miss me too.
We are in line to get awards.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I'm excited. All right, I gotta take
We're in line. This is our documentary. And we are in the gym. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera off, but I will be back later.
They're at full retreat and everything, and it's getting closer and closer to our division. They finally announced Stockdale. I am so nervous, I don't even go down there. I'm still sitting in the stands. I don't want to be next to anybody because they're going to start talking and stuff. And they're going to be in my ear, and they're going to make me think, and then they're going to make me really nervous. And I'm like, I'm going to just stay up here.
Got ready for awards because we're going in. I was talking to instructors the whole time, people on the floor and everything. And one by one, every single drum line just waiting for like 20 to 30 minutes before they even get to my division.
They announced 5th place to BHS. And I threw my hand up. I was like, okay, we're getting closer.
In 4th place, with a score of 88.55, North.
I was ready for like 3rd place. I was ready for something like that. I was like, yeah, it wasn't that good of a show.
And then they get to 3rd place, and I'm like, please start. Are you kidding me? It's like, are you serious? And it just became a talking fest behind me. It's like nobody could believe it. It's like I couldn't believe it. And I watched the kids walk up there emotionless. Talk about your hurtful feelings, hurtful moments, painful, very painful. It's like you just watch them like explode outside and everything. And we all walked away knowing, feeling 1st place. We felt it. That was a really good show. You felt it. And then come to find out you got 3rd place.
It's like, we started pulling our stuff back over to the trailer, and people came over hugging more, and Baker came over, and I had finally stopped crying, and he came over and gave me this hug and was like, I'm gonna miss you. And it all fell downhill from there. Every time everyone came and gave me a hug, I would just start crying again, and seeing my family all together like that, it was amazing. And seeing that we had all worked so hard for it, and we finally got what we worked for, and seeing Our instructors were proud of us. Our parents were proud of us. And we were all proud of each other. And feeling that feeling of family.
Then they announced Liberty second. Richmond first.
That was just a really cool moment, knowing that my senior year was the third year that we got gold out of the 4 years I was there, which was pretty cool, especially since we were undefeated as well. And so that was a big moment for us. All of us had big smiles on our face. We walked up, lined up to get our medals, and then that was just a really cool moment for everyone. And we got a banner too that said PAC Open Class Champions.
They seemed to all kind of just get together. Parents were taking pictures, so I kind of jumped in on that, handed my camera because I wanted some pictures too. Mr. Martins came to me and congratulated me, and I congratulated him back because these are his kids too. Without him, we couldn't really be doing what we're doing without his support.
Hey, where's Monique's? Where's Monique's? Did you guys put the zippers on Monique's yet?
Huh?
Did you
The
guys
zipper,
put the...
That one's the big one at the time.
Oh, that's the one large?
Like they couldn't make the head right. So they had to make it a really big person. We had to slim it down.
Yeah. So Monique's actually goes like this. And it widens out right here. We was thinking about you, Monique. We got you, okay?
This is an old... Guys are dumb. I look pretty right now?
Yes, good girl.
And some lady pointed me out in the crowd. She was like,
A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. What's after that one? Yeah, something like that, right? Is that what comes next?
I'm assuming so. Guys, this has been a long, fun. Long, but very fun, emotional,